Hi everybody, Friday's Hope. Here we are again. You like my little guy back here? My little hedgehog? The reason I have him is I was with a friend at a play in a different town. The name of the play was Nonsense. Okay. Let's try this again, because I don't know if I was talking through my headset or the phone. So I'm going to say hi again. This is Friday's Hope. It's good to see everybody. Glad you're with me today. And I was talking about my little hedgehog. Isn't he cute? The reason I got him, I was with a friend at a play in another town, and I was feeling kind of low, and I was just looking for something silly to buy. I don't buy very much when I go somewhere. I don't need that much stuff. And really, being around as long as I have had or I have as much stuff as I want or need at this point. But anyway, this hedgehog made me smile. And then when my friend was with me, that she looked at that and she started laughing, and I went, yep, I need to have my hedgehog posters. So this is on the inside right now because I have Christmas decorations on the outside of my place, but it might stay on the inside because she just makes me smile every morning when I see her. So that's my hedgehog story. So this is Friday's Hope. Welcome to Friday. Friday's Hope. This is Friday the 13th. That does not make any difference to me. God is still God, and numbers don't mean anything to him. He's going to keep getting us through and taking us through everything. So I want to welcome you and say this is the first time that's happened. I thought I had everything set for Friday's Hope. Usually I do my research, I do my biblical research, I type everything out, and it's almost always done by Friday, right? And then last night happened. See, I had the whole thing ready to share with you. I've got half of it written out. I got research and scriptures and everything. And then we had last night. I'm Sue Barnhart. Hi there, everybody. And I'm one of the ministers at the Worship Center here in Northern Illinois. And this is Friday's Hope, where we share hope for everyone, everywhere, for today and every day. So last night happened. As some of you know, I have a colostomy, and with this colostomy is sometimes pain, and so not so often, and most of the time it's very great. It's not very great, except last night. Hi, Tony. Good seeing you, honey. So I have a pretty high tolerance of pain, so it doesn't, I just keep walking through and stuff. But last night it got to be a little difficult, and I thought, okay, I'll go take some ibuprofen, that'll kick it in the butt, and I'll be fine. So about 10 o'clock, I decided to take some ibuprofen and go lay down. I was ready to sleep, not a problem. Now, mind you, during this pain, I'm asking God to help you. Hey, how are you, Arius? Good seeing you. And so anyway, I was going to bed. Thought an ibuprofen would kick it. Not a problem. I was ready to sleep. Yeah, the pain, not so much. The pain was pretty intense. Now, mind you, I'm praying through this pain. I am doing everything I know to do. And it's still there. So I thought, all right, I'll just pop another ibuprofen. I am not very much of a medication person. In fact, I'm very blessed not to have to take too much, and so ibuprofen is as strong as I'll take. Otherwise, I will be sleeping, but I'll be for the next 3 days. Anyway, so I went and took an ibuprofen. I'm praying, I'm walking this out, and the pain is gone. I am so grateful. The pain is gone. But that wasn't the problem last night. Nope. The problem last night, after the pain went away, I curled up in my bed. I have an amazing bed, an amazing mattress, and I was ready to go to sleep. except my body wasn't. So I tossed and I turned, went to my recliner. Sometimes I can sleep better there, curled up in a ball than I can in my bed, although I don't know why. That's not near as comfortable, but sometimes it works. I tossed and I turned. I went back to my recliner, went back to my bed. I had music on that I listened to on YouTube that's very calming, relaxing music that I use sometimes. I did everything I knew to do, and I was still awake at 4 o'clock this morning. Now look, y'all, 4 o'clock this morning is when I got up for work, not when I'm just going to sleep. So I did all the things, and I even asked God, can you help me go to sleep? Nope, not till 4 o'clock. Meanwhile, I'm thanking God that I don't have to get up in the morning to go to work, like on 2 hours of work. I don't stress about this anymore, and that's been a big deal for me, because I used to stress about how much sleep I got or when I got. But I don't stress about that anymore, and that was God. I give it to Him. Even when I did work and I only had a few hours sleep, because this issue has been going on since I've been getting older. And I don't take sleep medicines because they give me this awful dreams, and I feel drugged the next day, and I just hate that. I'd rather not get the sleep than take the medication. Go figure. I'm a little strange, I know that. So I'm thanking God, and I'm doing what I need to do. I'm calm, I'm serene, because I know that no matter what, hey, Pastor Paulette, it's good seeing you tonight. I'm calm and I'm serene because I've walked through this before. I know no matter what, God's going to get me through, even if I don't get to sleep until 4 a.m. When I worked, I used to be upset, but you know what? That didn't even bother me anymore, because guess what? God got me through 6 to 8 hours of work too. I was tired, I'll tell you that much, but I got through it. So don't even mess with that. But I was thanking Him that I didn't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get ready for work anymore. So I fell asleep about 4 a.m., woke about 8, and guess what I did? I called the people in the fitness class and I said, I'm not making it today. See, that's part of it, is know what you have to do to keep yourself healthy. Do the things to keep yourself healthy. And guess what? I did not even feel guilty about it. I needed sleep. I knew I needed sleep. So I canceled them all and I went back to bed, and I slept till 11 o'clock this morning. But I'll tell you what, I got up and I felt fantastic because I got 7 hours of sleep. That was amazing to me. It doesn't matter when or what time I got sleep. A lot of times when I worked, I would come home and I'd take naps. I mean, serious naps. I would barely get into the door and crash on my couch. And so I was happy when I woke up because I had the opportunity to rest. I have the opportunity. And here's the point of this part. Along with the pain, it is so important, ladies and gentlemen, so very important for your mental health to take care of your physical health so that your mental health stays strong. Hey, Linda, good seeing you, honey. I realize I'm in a different space and place in my life, and many of you are leading many different lives. I get that. But I also am aware that there are amazing, amazing abilities to take care of your physical health. Even if it's bad health, you can still take care of them. It's important to do that. And that lends so much to increasing your mental health. It lends so much. I'm telling you what, I woke up, I was grateful the sun was shining, and I was so happy because I had gotten the rest I needed. Now, I know some of you all struggle with rest. I have a very dear girlfriend that has struggled with not sleep apnea, but insomnia for years. But you know what? Even God's gotten her through that and helped her walk in a healthy way. And she's had some physical problems because of that. Okay, there's ways to handle that. But most of all, take care of your physical health so that your mental health can continue. And I read this article just the other day. The other part of this thing with me is the pain. The pain isn't that bad most of the time. Most of the time I don't have any pain. I'm very grateful. But last night was a little bit intense. I don't even take ibuprofen unless I have to. But pain is a big deal breaker in a lot of people's lives. And I understand that. And I had just read this amazing testimony by the name of Joni Eareckson Tada. I know some of you know who she is, but I'll give a brief history of her. She's been a quadriplegic. That means she's paralyzed from the shoulders down since July 30th of 1967, when she was 17 years old, and she dove into the Chesapeake Bay, I can't say that word, after misjudging how shallow it was. She had a fracture between the 4th and 5th cervical vertebrae and became a quadriplegic, paralyzed from the shoulders down. From that, she has built an amazing ministry. Hi, Nicole. It's good seeing you, honey. She has built an amazing ministry from that diving accident today. But I'd like to read the story about her testimony about dealing with chronic pain. She starts, hey, Courtney, good seeing you. She says, I deal with chronic pain. I pray for a lot of people who battle with chronic pain. Her name is Joni Eareckson Tada, and she does this because she deals with chronic pain as well. Now remember, she's handicapped, or she's paralyzed from the shoulders down, but she still has nerve-ending pain. Hi, Pam, good seeing you. And so she deals with pain even though she's paralyzed from the shoulders down. And she says, now you may ask, how can a quadriplegic who cannot feel pain feel pain? Good question. But it's not the sort of pain you'd feel from, say, a torn muscle or shoulder injury. It's the neuropathic pain that's kind of associated with severe diabetes. However you want to define it, though, it still hurts. We've all dealt with pain, and it still hurts. Amen? And so and sometimes it hurts really bad. Now, what I went through last night, it hurt me bad, but nothing like what this lady is dealing with. And I'm pointing to my computer because I'm reading the testimony off my computer. So, however you want to define it, though, it still hurts, and it hurts really bad, she says. And she says, you've heard me say my struggle with the pain makes life as being a quadriplegic like a walk in the park. Now, if you know anything about quadriplegia, you can't move your hands, your arms, you can't get out of your wheelchair, you can't feed yourself, you can't dress yourself, you can't move yourself unless you have a electric wheelchair. Sometimes they have to use breathing apparatuses when they lay down. Nothing can be done. Going to the bathroom. Sometimes they can't. Or if they can, sometimes they have a colostomy. Sometimes they have a urostomy. Sometimes they have to have medications to help them go to cause their colon to go. I know I've worked with a lot of them in my life. So being a quadriplegic is difficult. It is, and you'd say poor thing, but she's lived to be 74 years old with an amazing ministry. It is difficult, and it is tough for her. So people often ask, back to Joni's Joni's testimony, people often ask how I manage my pain. Well, first, I never let myself be unpleasantly surprised by how much I hurt. I once read in a magazine for cyclists in the Tour de France that the world-class athletes deal with pain by practicing detachment. It says detachment entails separating your thoughts and emotions from your perceptions about the pain. Realize that you don't have to think negative thoughts and experience unpleasant emotions just because you are in intense pain. That goes for everything, though. We can do that all the time. we struggle with things. We've lost people. We've been bankrupt. We've lost a loved one. We can do that through everything, through that detachment. Realize that you don't have to think negative thoughts and experience the unpleasant emotions just because you are in or going through, and in this point, intense pain. Instead of thinking, I hate when it hurts, I hate that I've gone through this, I hate that this is going on in my life, I hate that I've had this problem, that would cover emotional pain, and it increases our mental health. It helps our cortex, and it helps our norepinephrine, sorry, I can't say that word, and serotonins to level out too. When we think those things, when we think of that, instead of thinking, I hate when, and in her case, it hurts this bad, I can think, I've been here before, and I've gotten through it. And that works because that's how I worked with my pain, or with my lack of sleep and my pain, when I didn't get any sleep or hardly any, and I still had to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what, God? I'm tired, but I know that you've gotten me through it before. You know what, God? I hurt because of this, this, and this, but I know you've gotten me through it before. And it's the truth. He does. So Johnny says, I hate when it hurts this bad, and then begin to think, I've been here before, and I've gotten through it. This is nothing new. Simply recognizing that you always have, hear this, a degree of freedom to choose your emotions is half the battle. A degree of freedom to choose your emotions is half the battle. And it also is something that God can help you with. He's freed us from those things. So Joni Eareckson Tada says, I think that monitoring pain this way is great advice. So when the fangs of intense pain sink deep into my hips and back, that's what my signal to practice biblically based detachment. I start deep breathing, slow and steady. And when the fiery pain threatens to consume me with fear, just as the flames threatened to consume Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in that fiery furnace. Now, those of you who don't know what she's talking about, there's an account in Daniel 3 where the king was crazy and also angry, very angry. I'll read the passage to you. This is from Daniel 3, 13 through 14, verse 16, verse 20, verse 21. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and fury, gave the command to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spoke to them, saying, Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the gold which I have set up? See, the king was upset because somebody told him that they were worshiping God and not his stuff, okay? Verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. And you know what? We don't have any need to answer the pain, to answer the struggle, to answer the hurt, because we have a God who's going to take care of us. And go, no, you don't, I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to think on this. I can think something else. I have the freedom to do that. And so do you all. So verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. Verse 20, and he commanded certain mighty men, this is Nebuchadnezzar, because he was all upset, commanded certain mighty men of valor who were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the burning fiery furnace. Now he had already turned up the flames. He was that bad before he even tossed them in. Therefore, verse 22, because the king's command was urgent and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire killed the men who threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They killed the guards. They weren't even in the furnace, but by tossing those men in there, they died because the furnace was so hot. So Johnny continues, I have a conversation with my pain. I don't say, I can't stand this, it's killing me, because those words like that are fraught with anxiety. That hurt, that pain that you're struggling with emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever, is fraught with pain when you say, I can't stand this. Hey, Pastor Owens, how good to see you, honey. And as you know, that type of fear only makes things worse. Look at Job 4:14. Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones shake. Fear. How many times have you been that afraid? I have been in my life. Fear made his bones shake. So Johnny Erickson Tadas goes on to say, instead, we have that choice. I calmly ask Jesus to meet me in my pain, to not let it crush me. How many of us are going through pain, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally? Ask Jesus to meet you in that pain, to not let it crush you. We're talking about physical pain in this particular area because she's a quadriplegic, and she's been a quadriplegic for 74 years, and she's still out doing amazing ministries. But there's pain in all of us, isn't there? And we have the opportunity to go to Jesus, ask him to meet us in our pain, to not let it crush us. And the Son of God never fails to meet me, never fails to meet her. Just as he met the 3 Hebrew boys in that fiery hot furnace. Daniel 3:26 through 28 and 29 says, Then Nebuchadnezzar went near the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spoke, saying, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God. Oh, all of a sudden now he's saying that instead of why aren't you bowing to my gods and my gold? Now all of a sudden, why? Because he's seeing Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walking around in there. Even though they were thrown in bound into a fiery furnace that killed the guys that threw them in there, now he's seeing these guys around, and he's seeing somebody else walking with him. He said, Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came from midst of the fire. They walked out. They were tossed in, bound, but they walked out. Nebuchadnezzar spoke, saying, check this out. This dude's whole attitude has changed. Blessed be the God of, blessed be who? The God? Did I hear him say the God? Of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him, and they have frustrated the king's word, yielded their bodies, that they should not serve nor worship any God except their own God. Verse 29, Therefore I make a decree. Now it's gone from Nebuchadnezzar and the 3 Hebrew boys to the nation. I make a decree that any people, nation, or language which speaks anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut into pieces, and their houses shall be made as the ash of heap, because there is no other God that can deliver. No other God that can deliver like this. There isn't. In your pain, you're struggling, you're hurt, there's no other God that can deliver. There's no other God that can get us through. Johnny continues, Johnny Erickson Tada continues, and what does Jesus say to me in that agonizing place? He comforts me with his own words. He will say something like, Joni, my spirit inspired 2 Corinthians 4:8 for a good reason. For although you are hard pressed on every side, you will not be crushed. You're hard pressed. I get it. There are some people I may be talking to that are more hard pressed than I've even imagined being. But you're not going to be crushed when you reach out to Jesus. That's his promise. That's his promise. What a promise. So as pain tightens its vice grip on Joni, it cannot crush her. And here's another promise. Here's the way she reads Psalm 42, verse 10 and 11. And I've quoted this one time and again, so I'm not the only one who loves this verse, are like conversations between me and my fear. How about that? Because the psalmist says, my bones suffer mortal agony as my foes and fears and my part and hurts taunt me, saying to me all day long, where's your God? You ever hear that? But I say, why, my soul, are you so downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my God and my Savior. And Joni says, as I cling to God's promises, and there are many, my pain pushes me further to Jesus' heart. I just love that. There's hope in that whole testimony of hers. And then my verse that this ministry is founded on, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for good, not for disaster. Hi, Corel. Good seeing you, honey. Plans for good, not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. His plans are for your good. His plans will get you out and help you through the struggle you're with. Even though you're struggling, God is making a new thing happen. That's what happened to me last night. Got rid of the pain, laid down, couldn't go to sleep till 4 o'clock. Okay. You know what the new thing is? Me talking to you all about this. I've never shared a lot of this. I just go on and take care of business. So that was a new thing that came out of me not getting to sleep till 4 o'clock. He's going to make a new life. He's going to make a new way through this illness, through your pain. He's going to make a new way through the relationship struggles. He's going to make a new way through those financial struggles. Look, y'all, I know it's Christmas. We have a family chat on Facebook, Messenger, and everybody, even those making good money, are struggling with getting things. Look, I am a dollar store shopper. That is my favorite place to shop. The other place is the Leidig Center. For those of you who live in my area, you know exactly where that is. And thrift stores. And this year, I've been hitting them hard. Because this year is different for a lot of us. But God's going to get us through. Who said I had to come in with a huge dump truck and electric car for my grandchild? No. They still run and hug me if I bring them a donut. They love cookies, by the way. And so we put too much pressure on ourselves, guys. It doesn't have to be that way. God's going to make it a new way regardless of what we're going through. He's bigger than everything, anything we've ever gone through, everything you will ever go through. We're not done living life down here, ladies and gentlemen. So we may go through a few things. And he'll make a way where there seems to be no way. You know that song. That song's on the radio and all sorts of other places constantly. He's bigger than the problem. He's bigger than the war. He's bigger than massive destruction, massive weather. He's bigger than the tremendous financial failures. He's bigger than any health issues. He's bigger than any family issues, and I have proof of that. I've seen my family totally and completely parted and divided, and I see them all coming together now. Not greatest, not full on, but I see the kids talking to each other once again. Actually, my ex-husband's passing has caused some of that. Who knew that when their dad would pass, that they would end up coming closer together? That's not usually how it works. For those of you who have dealt with death in the family, you know what happens when death in the family happens. Well, God turned it around for me. Thank you, Corel. I appreciate that. I appreciate your words of kindness. You're very kind. Anyway, my family is growing stronger and together. That doesn't happen. I can tell you, as many years as I've been in ministry, and y'all wonderful ministers and pastors on here have been in ministry, you can testify to that. And the kids are closer. He's bigger than anything we go through, and I love this, he's willing to help us through. He loves us. He wants to help us through. So you know the ending of this. If you're going through, keep reaching out to him, just like Joni Eareckson taught us testimony. She reaches out to God as soon as that pain gets intense. Please reach out and be honest with people on your need. You know, we've had some people reach out and they've said this, that, and the other thing, and then they've taken their life and it wasn't that at all. We had no way of helping them unless we knew what was going on. So be honest with people who will help you walk through this and show you Jesus. Not just everybody, but people who will walk you through this and show you Jesus. I know reaching out is hard, but you and your family are worth the risk of reaching out to get help. I want to encourage you, don't sit there day after day in that mess, in that mental thinking, overthinking. That's how mental health struggles get worse. By letting it go, keep reaching out until you find the people that help you move forward. That's a good fit for you. I have a dear friend who went through three therapists because they weren't working for her. She found one. And this person's much happier now, much more blessed. And just because one place or one person doesn't work doesn't mean that it's hopeless. There are people out there just for you that God has designed and given to you to become whole, healed, and delivered. You deserve the help. You deserve to ask God. God wants you healthy. And this is one of my favorite verses. It was on my Facebook page for a long time. My health may fail. My spirit may grow weak. But God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Forever. He doesn't leave. I'm the one that leaves. I'm the one that moves. And God uses people. If you're struggling, call the hospital, call your pastor, call your mental health clinic, your doctor, your psychiatrist. Text the Suicide Lifeline 988. I watched a video on them. They are amazing and very well trained. They're here to help. They'll walk you through the people in your church, the ministers and pastors in your church, if you're part of a church. That's what they're here to do. And if you're a pastor or a minister, that doesn't make a difference. You're still struggling. Talk to somebody that'll help you through. Don't sit there in that home or that place by yourself. Find somebody that'll love you just because you are you and you can trust. You are a valuable person. We need you all in our lives. You were put here for a specific purpose and plan, to be part of our lives and to be part of God's plan that He's going to work in your life. So reach out. Don't sit there in pain and hurt. Don't sit there in thinking it's never going to end. It will. God's going to help you through. He's going to help you get through. If you feel this video has helped you or it could help someone else, would you please share it? Let us know if we have helped. Thank you, Corral, for your kind words. Leave a message in the comment box or email us fridayshope3@gmail.com. You can watch this and other videos on our Friday's Hope YouTube channel. Also, Joni Eareckson Tada, the person I've been quoting through this, has suggested that if you're in pain, visit Joni, and it's JONI, radio.org. And she's posted a video where she shares more about managing pain. I also have a free book for you by Dr. John Piper. It's called Shaped by God. Your emotions is half the battle when it comes to managing your pain. What do I say all the time? Your emotions, choosing your emotions is half the battle comes to managing your pain. And Dr. Piper's book is a great resource. Also, if you haven't already, please hit the follow button on Friday Hope's page. That's the best way to support me. You can go to Joni, Joni, or JoniRadio.org or JoniRadio.org, and you can find information out about that book as well, or at least get to her website. I just took this off her, I just looked up Joni Eareckson Tada on Google, and I went to the website, or the print testimony of how she manages her pain, but she has a tons of stuff on there, so go to her site. I trust her immensely. I followed her probably 40 years. I started following her when my second child was a baby, and she amazed me then. She still does. So go to your local church as always. Support them first and always. But if I can give you resources that'll help, I'll do that. One of the best ways to support Friday's Hope is go to the Friday Hope Facebook page and hit follow and pray. And there, Joni's name is Joni. Eareckson is E. You know what? Let me send it to you in a text. Okay, Carol? I'll send you her whole website in a text too, if that's okay. Because it's kind of a long name, and I want to finish this for the rest of the folks. So, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for listening. I pray God richly bless you and heal your hurting heart, soul, mind, and body. I love you, and God bless you. And Carol, I'll text you in just a bit.